What's happening, people? We're finally live. We're having a bit of a blunder behind the scenes, but we're here. We're live. Big up to everyone that's locked in on this wonderful Saturday. If you're fasting, I hope the fast is going well. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We got a regular on the channel in Saeed, and we got a returning guest. People have been asking for you, low-key, Liban. People have been asking to bring Liban back. So it's only right that we did a double link up with Liban and Saeed. Firstly, Saeed, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, can't complain. You know what I'm saying? To another day, big day, big blessing, Arafah. Hope everybody's enjoying their fast and whatnot. And yeah, man, good to chop it up. Good to see Liban. You know what I mean? Finally, we're here. But yeah, I'm all good. Well, I can't complain. I can't complain.
Liban, how you doing, man? I know you're
good,
happy
man.
Ten Hag's still here. So
I mean, no one expected it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, it's the way it's all played out. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, but yeah, in the end, Ten Hag stays, isn't it? Yeah, I guess that's what we're discussing today.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that because I think everyone got their conflicting opinions, but he is staying for the foreseeable future. I think signing an extension, 2-year deal. Obviously the Euros are on, but it's Hungary versus what? Switzerland. Yeah, that's gonna be. I think that game ain't going to be as entertaining as people expect it to. But let's quickly talk about, before we talk about Erik Ten Hag, let's talk about INEOS, Saeed, because the last time you and I spoke on the Straight Jacket podcast, we were getting on to you saying that you were a mole for INEOS and they were paying you. Are you still kind of feeling positive despite the fact that they decided to move forward with Erik Ten Hag?
No, I'm still positive because I wanted football people in it. Like I made it clear, like we need football structure. I think it's a common consensus. You know, United needed football structure to evolve and to be better. I was just kind of like, under the impression that obviously they were going to sack Erik Ten Hag. I thought they'd be wise enough to do it. They haven't done that, but I never flip-flopped. I never said I'm going to be Ten Hag out if I'm going to be INEOS out if they don't sack Erik Ten Hag. I knew the bigger picture. I'm quite disappointed at what they did, but ultimately, I've got a theory behind that, and I'll discuss it in a bit. But ultimately, I'm happy what they're doing. They're sorting out. They've got the best intention for United. You know, they want to get United back to the top. They want to help us, build a big footballing structure. You know, they brought in Omar Berrado, Jason Wilcox. So the signs are positive in it. You feel me? And we need it. United, for once, actually have people who are trying to fix the football structure and trying to get United back to the top where they should belong, man. So I'm quite optimistic with INEOS. But obviously the manager's the one that I'm still a bit unsure of. And I think low-key they kind of bottled it in that aspect. So ultimately, their intentions right now are good. Obviously, in time, we'll see where the patterns emerge and where it kind of leads to. But for now, they're sorting out the training ground. They're trying to get a new stadium developed. You know what I mean? So the signs are positive. But like I said to you, there's a little bit of things that I disagree with. But ultimately, you know what I mean? Time will tell on that one. But overall, INEOS, we're on the right path with them, man. They started good. First impressions are very, very good for me personally, anyway.
So you're optimistic about them, even though that they didn't get rid of the manager?
Yes, because I feel like for me, they bottled it. I feel like they had their set sight. If you watch read the Athletic report, they seem to look like they were going to sack Erik Ten Hag. And I look at what they probably looked at the market. They probably said, you know what, there's no one really out there. They probably looked at De Zerbi. Financially, he wasn't ready. Tuchel, financially, they disagreed on certain situations. So you can see there was a little bit here and there where they thought, not really sure. I think it was a summer of confusion. The fans as well. I think they looked at the fans and what they thought as well. So in all of that, they've come to, you know what? Let's keep Ten Hag for now. Give him a contract because end of the day, they're going to have to give him a contract regardless of what people think or not. They're going to give him a contract. And then it's like now, it's almost like you've given a vote of confidence, but still he's under this kind of like, what's the word I'm looking, like a test. It's still a test. He still has to play a style of football. We still have to be consistent. No more getting beat at home 3-4-0. You know what I mean? There has to be a consistent style of football. I still think it's like almost like a test for him right now. So as much as I think he's here and he's safe, I still don't think he's safe as a manager. But I've got over it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you. That night I didn't sleep.
You were dragged towards it. Liban, did you see this guy's stream? He was
incredible. No, incredible. I was watching it. It was incredible.
Bro, I know it was incredible for you.
I was enjoying it. Wallahi. I was like, yes. Because you know what's so funny? The day before he added me, he literally added me like was it the night before he added me?
Yeah. The night before.
Literally the night before he asked me. That's what made it even more funny. It's like it was poetry. It was poetry still.
Bro, that night I didn't sleep because I was like, what the flip is this club
Yeah.
done? But then I think the day after, we had a couple of therapy streams and that, and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to moan about it. Listen, I'm a United fan anyway. I want what's best for United, innit? Like, end of the day, yeah. But I was very, very, like, adamant he was gone. So I'm like, I'm over it now, but I still believe he will be gone by October, November. I don't want it to be... Yes.
October, November, like in 3 months' time, you think
in 3 months' time, I believe Ten Hag will be sacked from manager. I just can't see us improving. I still don't believe that he will make the necessary requirements in terms of tactically. Will we get better players? That's from INEOS. I've gone from Ten Hag watch to INEOS watch now in terms of how do they back this manager and how they say to him, right, we need a style of play now. If Jason Wilcox says to him, right, we need to build a style of play, then obviously, of course, everyone will feel a bit better about the manager or feel better about the club. But as it sounds right now, we need to see massive, massive improvement. I get it, we've won 2 trophies, but I still think everyone here is dissatisfied by the level of where Man United should be. We've won the trophies, but I feel like nobody's really like, yo, we're here. Man United are back. Like, we don't feel like that. The trophies have given us like almost like a short-term kind of like boost. Right now, it needs to plan on this Premier League, building ourselves, style of play, getting us to like, you know what? People are like, yo, Man United are a good team, you know? Man United are the team that you got to fear. I don't think people fear us just yet. Personally, for me anyway. You know, I don't know what Liban thinks, but
Yeah, Liban, what are you saying? Because Ten Hag's been your guy, innit?
What do you say?
What were you saying?
Nah.
Hashtag ride the storm.
Ride the storm. You know what it is, yeah? I've been saying this throughout the whole season, even on SDS. It's been the theme on SDS has been a back and forth. It's been a roller coaster on SDS, bro, in terms of the whole Ten Hag situation. Obviously, so I just saw a crazy chance that Switzerland just missed. It's mental. Yeah, I really just saw that. But so it's a situation where it was a back and forth. Obviously, Lias was on the same stance as Saeed. Did not trust the manager. Didn't have no faith in the manager. Lost every sort of ounce of confidence in the manager at all.
Yeah.
Like, whereas I was more sort of. I've always looked at it objectively, and I've took my emotions out of this for a long time. Since Rangnick days, I said to myself, you know what? The next manager that comes in, I'm going to take my emotions out of it. And I'm just going to look at everything objectively. And then I'm going to decide how I feel about the manager when that time comes. You look at Ten Hag's this season, and I feel like there was definitely room for criticism. We said that on the last time I was with you, Mina. Like, I think all the criticism some of the things that Saeed says about Ten Hag, I completely agree with. I think there's a lot of things that tactically, I think it's been poor. I think his in-game management has been poor. I think his recruitment's been poor. But then on the flip side of things, there are also things that are out of his control that I also do feel like has affected his season. And I feel like when you look at the full picture across the 2 seasons that he's had at United, I think there's enough to give him the benefit of the doubt going into the 3rd season. And I think, I'm not necessarily saying that that's what INEOS have done. I don't think INEOS have necessarily done that. I think INEOS have probably looked at the whole picture in terms of financially, does it make sense? Do we have a manager that we feel like we believe in? And I think there's been so many factors that have come into why he's probably stayed for another year. But ultimately, I think Ten Hag's done enough to warrant that benefit of the doubt. Whether people agree or not, that's up to them. But I think winning, again, we hadn't won a trophy in about 6-7 years. He came in and he's given us 2 trophies in back-to-back seasons. I think, yes, the football this season in terms of the domestically and the Champions League, we were poor. But then last season, we did really well in all those competitions last season. We did quite well. I mean, obviously, I was unfortunate against Sevilla in the Europa because I feel like the injuries to Varane and Martinez in the first leg killed us. It killed us. So I feel like last season, we could have easily won a couple of trophies last season. There was potential for us there. And I think he overachieved last season in terms of in the league and just across the whole season. This season has been the opposite. It's been underwhelming. So I feel like, but then he still managed to get a trophy. So I feel like if you factor in the fact that he's had to deal with the injuries he's had this season, he had to deal with off the field antics, he's had to deal with this whole change of ownership with the new structure coming in, people leaving, people going. Obviously, you got the I have to mention it, but you got the Mason Greenwood situation, you had the Jadon Sancho situation, you had the Cristiano Ronaldo situation. You had so many things to deal with in just the space of 2 years. It feels like he's been here for 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a
It
lot.
genuinely feels like he's been here for 5 years, and he's only been here for 2 years. So I feel like if you culminate everything together, I think he does warrant 1 more year. And I agree with what you said in terms of it is a test. And I think the word you're probably looking for is probation. I think he's on his probation. He's on a probation period. I think this year is a probation period. I think they will give him what he needs. And that's where I agree with you in terms of INEOS watch as well, because I want to see how they're going to back him. Because there's no point going into the next season with the same group of players. There's no point. If you got to go into this season next year, you're setting them up already to fail. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like there has to be a lot of changes this summer in terms of personnel. But I'm happy that he's been given an opportunity, because I, for one, I'm tired. I'm tired of every time, because I was the one. I was like that where Oli, I was like, as soon as things didn't go well, I was like, get him out. When Jose Mourinho, when things weren't going well, I said, get him out. Van Gaal, same. David Moyes, same. I'm tired of constantly when things are not going well, I'm like, yeah, get rid of the manager. A new manager comes in and it's the same rubbish again. Do you know what I mean? So it's I'm kind of glad that we've at least stuck to something. Whether it's good or bad, we'll see. But I'm just happy that we've stuck to our plan. We've stuck to our manager, who's already got some sort of, at least he's got a hold on that team already. And I feel like that performance against Man City, yeah, it's a one-off game, but it shows you what he can do if he does have the right players available, and it shows you what he can do if he's given that opportunity. You know what I mean? If he's given that opportunity, so. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be an interesting season for Man United. Like, this is probably the most intrigued I've been coming into a season. I want to see how things go.
I think anything he does this season is going to be under a serious microscope. Like, any
100%.
relationship with a player, any sort of vibe. If people get a vibe of him and a player clashing, people are going to be all over it. Because I read the article about The Athletic that they put out yesterday about basically everything that's happened over the last 2 years, and they gave some insight into the Jadon Sancho thing. And it's interesting to me. I knew Jadon Sancho must have really effed up when Thomas Tuchel had a meeting with INEOS, and INEOS basically said to him, we're selling Sancho. And apparently Thomas Tuchel wasn't feeling that. Thomas Tuchel was more under the impression like, I can change him. I don't want to say change him, but that's what he was basically saying. And when I read that piece, I kind of understand now why Jadon Sancho was exiled from the team. Not to that extent of what Erik ten Hag did. Saeed, I know you're a Sancho fan.
No, I'm not. I know
you. I know, but I know that between him and Erik ten Hag, between him and Erik ten Hag, I know what side you're rocking with.
I'm not on any side. I said it. I made it clear. I said Ten Hag has every right to call it out, but then Sancho has every right to defend himself. But then what gets misconstrued is that people think I'm on one side. I said if Ten Hag's allowed to say what he's got to say here, then Sancho's got every right to defend himself. I've kept it a book from day one. But then people, what they do is they try to make me feel like I'm Sancho in. Like, I'm not. Yeah. I'm just like, yo, if Ten Hag can publicly call out a player and say he hasn't been training to the performance levels he has been performing, Sancho has the right to say, you know what, I have been, and I've been made to feel like a scapegoat, and it ain't right. Okay, whether it's through a statement or whatnot, does it look good? Okay, that's up to everyone to think about. But for me, I'm like, he defended himself. I think there's big things that have happened behind the training ground that have led to that. I don't think it's just a case of 1 minute you're just bringing out a statement. Yeah, you normally thinking, right, a player might feel shocked if like, why has the manager called me out? I'm going to go see him in his office. Maybe there's been something behind the scenes.
What happened behind the scenes? Apparently, this has been a build-up of 2 years of
situations. There you go.
And the first situation, this is, by the way, in the Athletic article that I went through yesterday on my channel. Yeah. The first situation happened after the Brentford loss, 4-0 Brentford. First season under Erik ten Hag, where Sancho apparently said to the manager, if you guys wanted someone to play on the right wing, then you should have brought a right winger, because I don't want to play on the right. I want to play on the left. And then I don't know if you remember, United ended up going and buying Antony. So apparently that pushed Erik ten Hag to sign Antony, because he was very adamant he didn't want to play on the right. And then obviously the situation with the Arsenal thing, the Arsenal game, apparently just before that in training, they were doing a training match where it was like opposition versus the Man United starting 11, and he was meant to be an opponent player, and he wasn't pressing. And then the manager said to him, well, if you don't want to press, do you just want to leave the session early? And he said, okay, fine. And then he walked off. And then that is the beginning of the downfall. Apparently, after that, he issued the statement, obviously when Ten Hag spoke in the press conference. And then they had a meeting in Carrington during the international break. And then they agreed that the next meeting they were going to have at Carrington was going to be that Sancho was going to come back and apologize privately, not publicly. He was going to privately apologize. He never turned up. He never turned up to the meeting. And that's when they decided, Erik ten Hag decided, all right, cool, we're going to penalize him. I do think there's probably more to the situation. I definitely feel like that. But the article did kind of suggest that this led to Erik ten Hag kind of falling out with other players, because other players started looking at him a bit sideways, because Jadon Sancho apparently is a very popular guy in the dressing room. I think INEOS have kind of made their stance clear in terms of where they see that going. But it's not just that. It's also, I'm interested to see how they deal with Anthony.
Yeah. But just sorry to cut you off, but I also think Myrtle, shame on Myrtle as well for not stepping in and intervening, because I believe a good football director would have came in and sorted that mess out, because I think Jason Wilcox, this is why I'm glad Jason Wilcox here. If there's a falling out with a manager and a player, Jason Wilcox needs to come in and step and say, yo, you get in a meeting right now. We're going to sort this out, sort the differences out. I don't believe it should come down to the manager being the all envy as to why certain managers fall out with it. You have to have the director there. You have to have the... And I'm not saying in a way where he gets involved and he starts becoming like, yo, I'm the boss here. No, but he's meant to be the guy that, you know, settles the differences for me personally. So I think it was weak from John Myrtle to do that. But then again, it's weak from the CEO, because look at the way they handled the Mason Greenwood situation. You know, leave it to the public to decide. That was awful. You know what I mean? They should have said, yo, listen, Mason Greenwood ain't coming back. He is coming back. Make a decision based on that. Not, you know what, we looked at the fans and we looked at the opinion of the people. Nah, man, you can't do that, man.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. You have to grow some balls and be like, you know what, Adam, even if you say he's gonna come back, like stand on business. Say you're gonna keep him and he's gonna play, or say he's not coming back and you stand on it. Don't let the public's opinion or the media's opinion or the propaganda that the media want to push to make it. And that's the problem I've had with Man United over the last 10 years. Is like they very much care about what the opinion of the media, the opinion of the fans. At the end of the day, you are a business, you are a football club, you make your decisions. Whatever everybody else says, that's that noise that's always going to be there, regardless. People are going to be happy or upset, regardless of what decision you make. But you have to be firm on whatever it is that you decide. But going on this Jadon Sancho thing, I feel like in this whole situation, I can't criticize a manager. Even just the stories that you're telling me, what is the manager meant to do in that situation?
Even him telling him you can't eat lunch in the canteen, go eat in your car.
Yeah,
if that's not eat in your car. I'm being a bit dramatic, but he wasn't allowed to eat in the first team room.
So
he had to eat with the under 18s.
But grow up. Like at the end of the day, that's the punishment you'd be given.
This is how I know Liban's from the hood.
But you know what it is though? There's consequences. This is the thing. Like in school, in school, whether it's school, whatever, education, at home, your job, if you decide to take on action, there's consequences for it. And whatever that consequence is, you have to accept it because you made that choice. You made your bed, so you lay in it. If you decided that you wanted to leave your training early, if you're the one that decided you didn't want to apologize and turn up to the meeting, there's obviously going to be consequences. You think you can do that and then you come back and act like everything's fine and you're just going to go back and play football again. It don't work like that. At the end of the day, Ten Hag's not there to make friends. He's not there. He's there to win us football matches and to win Manchester United trophies. So at the end of the day, one player can't be bigger than the club. You saw what Sir Alex did to some of the biggest players that we had. Roy Keane, our captain for how many years? One incident he got told is safe. You get me? There's so many incidents. Van Nistelrooy, I remember Van Nistelrooy so well.
That's what that upset me the most.
Bro, we won the Carling Cup. We won the Carling Cup, and instead of celebrating with the team, the guy walked down the tunnel. I will never forget that. He walked down the tunnel instead of celebrating. He tried to make it the Van Nistelrooy show. Yeah, and
what happened after that? I think he got benched, didn't it? After that,
forget he got even benched. He got sold in January. He got sold in mid-season. Mid-season, he got sold. They didn't even wait till summer. They said, "Yo, Van Nistelrooy, who was one of probably our best goal scorers of the 21st century, he told him safe." Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like the manager has a job, and his job is not to make friends. His job is not to make everyone happy. His job is to make Manchester United win and to make Manchester United successful again. And if that means certain players might have to get shown the door along the way, then that's fine. Jadon Sancho, at the end of the day, I love him as a player. I think he's a quality player. I love him. Like I wish things would turn out differently, but at the end of the day, I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm not a Jadon Sancho fan. Man United comes first for me, and anyone that any player that I feel like ain't really trying to be there, then safe. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like Jadon Sancho, he's made it clear over the last 6 months, he's not trying to be there. So why are we as fans trying to beg and trying to turn on the manager or trying to go against the manager for simply not wanting to have a player that's not showing the commitment? that we
You
want
guys-
from Manchester United players. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think with Erik Ten Hag staying has kind of started a new culture of player power losing? Because player power
Yes.
has been the
Yep.
biggest issue for a
Mhm.
long time.
Mhm.
Jose, I would say Oli, Ragnick. It's been a problem. So do you think Erik Ten Hag staying? Because I remember months ago there was talk about in the media, oh, the dressing room is divided on the manager and thing. And then I found out that when Erik Ten Hag, it was announced that he was staying on Tuesday, a lot of the players found out the same way we did. They found out from the media. They weren't told by the club. Obviously, it got announced quite late. The meeting itself happened quite late in the afternoon. I think it was Sir Jim Ratcliffe flew to Ibiza, where Erik Ten Hag was with his wife and that on holiday. Do you think that it's a good thing for the player power to come to an end? And if so, what do you see the future for people like Marcus Rashford? I'm not saying that he's a player that kind of pushes the idea or the initiative of player power, but I do think he's a player that's got the fan base quite divided. Like, I've never seen people so divided on a player like Marcus Rashford.
You know what it is? I think it ultimately depends on results as well, and when and how you're playing. You know what I mean? That's when players start to murmur, players start to be like, yo, I'm not really bothered about this team or whatnot. Like you hear about these, everyone being a bit disgruntled, innit? Like it all comes down to results and performances, innit? People like Marcus Rashford, I think, you know, we've made our bed, innit? Like we've given him a contract now. He's gonna stay here now. I don't believe anyone's gonna buy him. I don't think he's gonna leave anytime soon. He's the poster boy. He's here. He's 26 now. You know what I mean? He's gonna be. This is his last contract, really. Let's be honest. Like he's on a. Well, I don't know how long did he sign for? Was it 3-4 years or what was his?
I think it's 4 years. I think it's
4 years. Yeah. So he stays till he's 30. You know what I mean? After that, it's wherever in it. You know what I mean? At that time, he's not.
He signed a 5-year deal. Sorry.
5-year deal. There you go. So 31. So he'll be here till he's 31 then, innit? So ultimately, I look at player power. It all comes down to results, really. If I'm being honest with you, I think it will still always be there. I think it will still always be, yo, my player needs to be in the team. This player needs to be in the team. You know, why are we getting this player in the team? Like it's always going to be there, innit? And ultimately, it's how the manager manages the situation. Fairness. I don't think for me, Ten Hag has been fair in game time. I think he's had his favourites, but then again, he's also brought players in that have not been good enough, and therefore they've been on the bench. So it's like a catch-22 for me. But ultimately, that whole division and whatnot, the media created the most. I don't think it comes from the fans, you know. You see these guys like Samuel Lucas and all these guys, man. They always.
Why you got personal beef with Samuel? Like, well, that's the first journalist you mention every single time.
Because the way he reports, man, the way he's a xenophobic guy, man. For me, I don't know if he sees really.
Yeah, I saw his Qatar comments during
Qatar,
that process.
Yeah, man.
Saw that.
He refers to players as exotic. He can tell, man, the way he's speaking about people, man, it's not good in it. So that's why I don't like him. And ultimately, they bring out these kind of fake reports in it. We as fans, we're just like we're not aggregators, but we feed on whatever the press tell us, and we decide whether it's true or not, or we believe it or not, or we find out through murmurs. That's why it's good to believe the Athletic sometimes, because they are credible in what they do. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on what the media tell you, but also when you go to games, you can see the body language of players. Like I don't know if you see, but when you go to games, you'll see sometimes like players like Anthony, like the way they're training and whatnot, or they get told to come in. Bro, you can see they're pissed off. You know, you can see certain players when on the football pitch, they're not happy. Or Ten Hag will pull them over and they're like, what's going on here? Like, it feels a bit, you know, or the players will be arguing amongst each other. Sometimes you can tell there is a bit of something in the camp. But overall, results and performance. If you are playing well, there won't be any leaks. But when you're not playing well, the leaks all start to come about and everyone's not happy and this guy's not happy. And then people start making up rumors and whatnot. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of them where I feel like for me, results and performances, man, bring them. You won't see nothing. You won't see nothing.
Do you truly think that even without that, just based on results and based on good performances and trophies, that there won't be any, I want to say, tension between players and managers or etc.? Because you mentioned Anthony and you mentioned about you know, how he was on the pitch. I remember I went Everton game 2-0 when United won. And he looked a mess on the pitch. He looked an absolute mess. And then when I read the article on The Athletic yesterday, that was one of the games that they referenced, saying that the manager apparently ripped into him in the dressing room after the game because of his cameo off of the bench. So it kind of, you're right. When you go to games, you do realize things like body language. And I do think, like, for example, you look at, I'm mentioning Marcus Rashford just because when it comes to him, he's taking right now proactive steps to change his image in the media because, you know, I don't know if you lot know, but he's signed a new PR manager that has worked with Cristiano Ronaldo, worked with Jadon Sancho, worked with Varane, Mason Mount, and a lot of other sports stars, not just footballers, to work on his image in the media because he's being abused a lot, is a lot of online criticism. And it kind of makes sense as to why he's been doing, I don't know if you realize, he does a bit more interviews over the last 6 months. He's been doing a lot more public interviews. He did that big interview that with the Players Tribune. So that's a person that I don't think he's flexing his player power, but he's flexing his power to kind of change his image in the media because he knows the media and the public right now, his image is completely effed up.
But the best way to change your opinion, the best way to change that public opinion, just perform well.
Yeah.
Well, I perform well. Like doing all of this, hiring a PR manager, and I hear it and I understand that's part of being a footballer. But at the end of the day, your performances speak louder than anything you say in an interview. And Marcus Rashford, you talk about body language. For me, when it comes to the discussion of selling Marcus Rashford, that's not even a question. I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't sell him. But I can understand why people have that opinion. I can understand where it comes from. But the first thing he needs to do, before anything, he needs to just go away somewhere this summer and just focus on getting better and coming back. Not just performing well, but coming back with the right attitude. Because you see that performance against Man City?
Yeah. Quality.
It's amazing. And he didn't necessarily do anything. He didn't do too much going forward, but it was more to do with his attitude. He was trying to win second balls. He was going in for challenges. He was defending, tracking back. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for you to score a hat-trick every single game. We know that's impossible. We're asking for the bare minimum. Just show that you want to play for the club. Show that you have a better fight in you. And that's all fans have been asking for all season. So, I mean, I understand you got to do your thing off the pitch and PR and all of that, but that's not what we, as Man United fans, we don't care about that. I'll be so real with you. We don't care about that. Even that player tribunal that you mentioned, he was complaining that he feels like he was getting abused and that things to do with off the field antics. But at the end of the day, that's not what we're criticizing. Most Man United fans are not criticizing you for things that you're doing off the field. We're criticizing you for your body language, your attitude on the pitch, and your commitment on the pitch. That's what we're criticizing. So I think even he's a bit confused as to what people are even criticizing him for.
He said something about they're questioning something about his commitment.
His commitment to the club.
Yeah. Why they doubting me? They said, you know what I mean? Like, as in, like, why they? But then again, they doubt you because sometimes you perform. You've had one good season, one bad season for the past how many years at Old Trafford or United? Like, it's always been like 1 year. Like, I think next season he's gonna be up for it again.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores 30 goals. I wouldn't be surprised. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised.
And then the season after that, that's the difference between top players.
Yeah.
Top players perform consistently year in, year out. Do you think Ronaldo just said 1 year, yo, I'm taking a break? Bro, even in the Saudi League, he's pissed off at losing games.
That guy is different. He's different mentality though. Ronaldo is different. He's a beast.
If you want to be that, then if you want to be like,
no, but he spoke about it. Don't you remember? He spoke about it in the Piers Morgan interview. He spoke about Manchester United players and how the younger players didn't want to take his advice and they basically like just turned away from him. And the only person, it was Dalot. And look, Dalot right now, ridiculous mentality.
Yeah, ridiculous. Man.
He's got a ridiculous. He's got a ridiculous
material, man. Dalot, man. On low key, you know what I mean? Captain material.
He's Man United's most improved player over the last few years, bro.
Easy.
You think about it. Bear in mind, we sent him on loan like a couple of times. He's come back, and he's one of the first names that you see on the team sheets now.
And
I've always been doubtful of him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've always been. I thought, man, this guy gets beat too easily. I thought defensive and naive, but what I like about him is his commitment is second to none, man.
Yeah.
He keeps going no matter what, and he's there. He's hardly injured. You know what I mean? He's there and whatnot, and he's got the hunger and the attitude, man. And sometimes you got to applaud that, man. So fair play to
they nearly sold him for a swap with Dumfries in the summer.
Oh, damn.
And they only decided not to do that because Malacia got injured and Dalot can obviously play right back.
Left back.
So they decided to keep him. And that would have been funny. That would have been another example of like Richard Arnold and Murto doing complete nonsense. But big up to Nedu with Super Chat says, big up Mina, keep up the good work. Big up to Nedu. We've got over nearly 250 people here, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Get involved in the conversation. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you two were gonna go at it a bit more because I seen you lot gunning for each other. I seen Saeed gunning for you guys. Actually.
You know what it is,
Yeah, he's
brother?
gunning for me.
It's
He's gunning for me.
acceptance, innit? Man, I've let people have their enjoyment. You know what I'm saying to you? But
Yeah.
for me, I'm still Ten Hag out. You know what I mean? Whether people
Mm.
like it or not, yeah, I will still be Ten Hag out. But I
Yeah.
will want the team to do better.
So you want the team to do well, but you want
Yeah.
the manager gone. So
Yes.
Yeah.
say next season, are you going into the games?
Yeah, but how does that
are you
work
going into
though?
games? Are you going into the
How
games
does
hoping
that
that they
work
do
though?
well, but
Yeah,
then the manager
hoping they
is
do
not
well.
going to get sacked?
How does that
hoping
work
they
though?
do
How can
well.
you got the manager
I go
out
for
and
the
you
games.
want the team to perform well? How does
Yeah,
that
I
work?
want
How does
United
that
to do
work?
well. I want every player to do well. I want
It might
United
not
to
do
well.
well. The manager stays.
Yeah, I want to sack because for me, listen, if I was I could have been Mourinho out, but obviously I was like, I want my United to do well in it. Like I'm a United fan, but I still want this manager gone because I feel like for me, I don't think he's the right manager for this job. Long-term ones. Don't get me wrong here. For me, you win trophies, but still, like I said to you, I don't believe United are improving. Yes, the trophies are there, but sometimes I'm not saying that trophies don't show a sign of improvement, because it does. It helps you with your mentality. It helps with you like players progressing. But I don't believe right now, as it stands, United as a style of play, the way we're coached, I think we're top. We're like 15th in the league. I think there's Glasner's better coach than him. I think even Gary O'Neill's a better coach. I think who's the top ones? I think Tottenham managed a better coach. Aston Villa, Unai Emery, Arteta, at Guardiola. I don't know about this slot guy. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I believe there are better coaches out there than Ten Hag. Hence why, therefore, I'm like, yo, I want him gone. In the long term, I believe he won't succeed at Man United. Bread and butter the Premier League, right? Everyone wants to win the Premier League. Or everyone wants to challenge for the Premier League. Yes, the cups are there, but I believe this manager's a cup manager. You know what's mad, Liban and Mino? I think we're going to win the Europa League next year. I generally think we're going to win.
I can't lie to you. I was thinking
2-0 Switzerland.
I can't. My team's way behind. Now you know I was thinking the same thing. I think we're gonna win another trophy next year. I genuinely do think that. But the thing is, you see, I disagree with the idea that I think he's a good coach. I genuinely think he's a good coach. I think he's a good manager. I just think a lot of things haven't gone his way. But the thing is, why I'm so calm about it, because when we got him, or even just towards the end of Ragnick season, I accepted. I was like, you know what? Well, I remember at the end of Ragnick, one day I had to sit down with myself. I said, I have to humble myself, and just accept, wallahi, man, United, we're not that team no more. We are not.
But I get that. I 100% get that.
We are not what we think we are anymore. And I think we need to like humble ourselves, go back to the drawing board, and accept that if we do go back to the top, things have to get worse first. Wallahi, I remember sitting down, wallahi, that same summer, I'm thinking to myself, you know what, if Man United want to get back to that Man City level or that level that we used to be, things have to get worse before it gets better. And that's why when I saw this season, I was like, you know what, for me, this is part of that process where I feel like it's gone horrible, and I understand why people will be upset because we finished 8th. We have a minus goal difference. When we don't have a style of, like, I understand the emotion it's the emotion side of it that vexes me. Like, I could easily be that guy and be like, oh, nah, you know what? Bun this guy. Like, look at, because generally this is the worst season we've had
ever.
That I can remember. But I just said to myself, you know what? Yeah, I think this might just be part of that process. Wallah, I generally believe that this is just part of
Trust
it. Where
the process.
Trust it. We have to go a bit back before we go forward. And I think, and it's kind of opened our eyes into all these changes that are now being made. Yeah, obviously you've got the football structure. Because bear in mind, if we were doing at least half well, a lot of the changes that you're seeing now wouldn't happen because they would just think, oh, you know what, we're doing all right. We'll just keep going. So I feel like it's a kind of a blessing in disguise that a lot of things haven't gone well because then it allowed us to make the necessary changes that we needed, whether that be structure, whether that be recruitment, wherever it is. I feel like if things were okay, I don't think these changes would have been made.
Do you believe his flaws will still be there next year, though? Because I believe it will be. I don't believe we'll have a distinctive style of play. I do believe there'll be holes in the midfield and the gaps will still be there. I don't know if Casemiro will still be the player. I don't know, personally, for me.
Yeah.
But I don't see United being able to be that team that can consistently have a style of football and build consistent results. That's why I believe we're always open to getting beat or getting, you know what I mean, outnumbered and outplayed. That's why I'm like, yo, in the odd game, in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, he can set his team up. He can. Yeah. I genuinely believe he can set his team up and play that style of play, and he can be brilliant at it. But over the course of 38 games, which everyone watches, everyone bread and butter Premier League, because in the cup competition could be out. So therefore, it's like one of them where but the bread and butter, what you have, the foundations, the pillar of your team, the Premier League, I don't believe he's good enough. Even the first season, I wasn't satisfied. I was happy that we got through it third, alhamdulillah. But I was like, yo, we need to play better though, man. Because from January onwards, I was like, this is kind of low-key dead, man. But we got over it. But then the next season, I said, yo, better style of football. We need to improve. And I didn't see that. And I was like, yo, man, come on, man. What are we doing here?
You know one flaw that I agree that I feel like I have no faith in him. The one flaw that I feel like we have to change that, because if that continues, then 100%, there's no point in letting Mama carry on. It's the recruitment side of things. Take away his recruitment powers.
Take it away.
Yeah, I know. Snatch that from him. Because I can't lie to you, his recruitment in terms of like out of every player he signed across the last 2 years, I think only one player has been a success, and even that player hasn't been available for most of the time that he's been here. And that's
I would even say, like, even with Martinez, I think with the injury issues, it's obviously something he's developed at the club. So I think the club is more so to blame for that than Erik Ten Hag. But we've only got the best out of Martinez for 1 year. Like,
not even 1 year, maybe 8 months.
So we haven't really got to reap the benefits of him. I think some of them, I know for a fact, the more that I read about it, I know that he might not have wanted it. Casemiro in particular, even Rasmus Højlund, I don't think that was his first choice striker. He even met with Kolo Muani before they signed Rasmus Højlund when he realized, obviously, I'm not saying Kolo Muani would have been better, but you know, Højlund clearly wasn't his first choice, and now Man United are apparently in the market again for a striker. So I totally agree with that aspect of what you're saying, that his recruitment.
Because I think his recruitment is what's really, really, really let him down. His recruitment has let him down, and again, that comes down. I don't want to put that entirely on him, because at the end of the day, a big club like Manchester United, 2024, should not be giving a manager that kind of level of responsibility. Let's be honest. If you look at any top club around Europe, any top club, you look at even some of the other clubs, like the lesser clubs, maybe like even a Dortmund, obviously a historic club, but they're not on the level of Manchester United. Even their run in terms of transfer recruitment are a lot better than Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I think there's a lot of change needs to be happening in terms of recruitment. And I think this summer, I agree with INEOS. They need to take away that power. They need to just give him a list of names. He needs to just say, I need a holding midfielder. They give him a list of names, and he chooses from that list of names. He can't tell us he's going to go sign Kevin Strootman from the Dutch league. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear this. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to hear none of this.
We're hearing Ligt though. Bro.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't be too mad about Ligt if we still get Branthwaite. Like, I wouldn't take Ligt. I wouldn't take Ligt on his own. But if we get Branthwaite, and then I wouldn't mind a Ligt as well, because obviously he can play with his feet as well. So that would kind of from the back. But
I think financially though, that's the reason why we're being linked to players like Ligt. If you look at, they put in a bid for 35 million for Branthwaite, got rejected straight away. 42 million price tag for Ligt is more in line with what it looks like Man United are willing to pay for a defender. But we've been linked to who else? We've been linked to Todibo, Mark Gay. We've been linked to Yoro, the kid from Lille. We've been linked to quite a few centre backs, and I do think probably a centre back, Inacio. But even Inacio, I'm not sold on him. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really sold on him.
I'm not sold on any player from that Portuguese league. Portuguese league. That league is so dodgy.
I thought Bruno's your guy though.
Yeah, Bruno is probably one of the, you get you have a crop of players. You don't like Bruno? I see Saeed there shaking his head.
Nah, man.
That's his enemy. That's his number one enemy.
I wouldn't say enemy, but I just put him so, man. I don't see the hype, man. I think he's overrated.
No, Saeed, man. Bro. You just started a whole new.
Nah, man. Bro, man. We need to sell him, man. You watch last night Musiala, man. That's what we should be getting, man. Musiala, man.
Oh my god.
That's the type of football I want, man.
Bro,
club,
man. I was telling my brother this recently as well. Yeah. Players like Bruno, even you could put maybe throw Marcus in there, You see those type of players, because Manchester United, we lack world-class players, Especially we're talking in discussion of Bruno specifically, we can't afford to lose a player like that. We can't afford to. Like, if Bruno was playing for Manchester City, maybe I can understand if they didn't want him or they were frustrated with him and they said, "Oh, we can get," because they have so many star players that they can afford to get rid of a Bruno because they have somebody else can fill in that void so easily. Us, we would get rid of Bruno. Do you not see the performances when Bruno was missing for that Crystal Palace game?
Yeah. Of course.
Bro, for me. That's why, like, I understand the frustration with Bruno, and I feel like there is a lot of aspects of his game that is frustrating. To watch
bro.
That's very frustrating to watch at times. But then you look at the flip side of it, bro. How many chances does he create in a game? I think he's up there probably with the most chances created from a midfielder over the last 4 years in across Europe.
Top 5,
Not
yeah.
even just
All the top
it
7
goes
leagues.
across. So you're talking about somebody that's got like the best creative output in Europe. Yes, maybe he loses the ball one too many times, but that's because I feel like that comes from a place of frustration and having to try and make things happen all the time because people are looking to you to make something happen all the time. Do you know what I mean? I feel if we took out Bruno, right now we would suffer heavily.
But that's what we need. We need to go, like you said, we need to go backwards to go forwards. Man United need to take out Bruno from this team and build a team where everybody is shining. When I look at United now, it's always Bruno and maybe a Rashford shining. Everyone else is either struggling or they're kind of like having to make things like work and whatnot. Like for me, when I look at Bruno Fernandes, I look at a guy who is a volume kind of player. I think he's a player that I look at, when he's trying to force things, I think it's in a detriment of the team sometimes because he's trying to force it from the halfway line. And people say, "Oh, but Kevin De Bruyne does the same." No, Kevin De Bruyne does it towards the goal where it actually needs to be done. Look at Bruno Fernandes, halfway line, spam it. I think the lack of possession, the lack of discipline as well sometimes in his game. I think for me, I've just had enough of it. Don't get me wrong. I will always.
Don't you think he's improved? Don't you think he's improved on that? I think in the last 2 years, I think since Ten Hag's come in, I think that side of his game, where that whole that rashness of just trying to play something straight away, I think he's calmed that down a lot now. I think he's a lot more protective of the ball now than he will have compared to when during Ole's time. Remember Ole, how crazy he was?
No, 100%. I get that.
Oh, he was insane. Now it's like I think he's become a lot more mature now with the ball. Obviously, that side of him creeps out at times, especially when the frustration, when we're losing games or I feel like we're chasing games, you see that frustration come out a little bit. But I feel like Bruno, definitely that side of his game, he's improved. But I just feel like someone that is such a creative spark, and that at any given moment he can produce. Well, look at that goal against Liverpool, bro.
Yeah,
look at that goal, bro. That's instinctive. That's an instinctive finish that not a lot of people would do. Hit that on the first time and then get the accuracy, bro. That is a world class goal. Whether we accept that or not, and not a lot of people have that in their locker.
It's one of them, man.
That's a world class goal, bro.
I think Bruno's the one that will survive right now under INEOS, i.e., not get sold. If I was to look at all the players, I think he's the only one that I would say.
Would you give him a 300k contract, Liban?
Right now in this current state, I would, if I had no choice but to give him 300k right now, I would give it to him because we can't afford to lose him. Him, I think is I agree. I think I'm with you in the sense of if you want to build without Bruno,
yes.
The first thing you have to do though first is not get rid of Bruno. What you have to do is you have to get better players around him first to the point where now that weight of responsibility gets shared.
Or build a style so that we don't have to rely on Bruno.
Yeah, no, I agree. But then I feel like you need players first to come in that are at least of the same quality as him so that you can slowly phase him out. You can slowly phase him out. If you can't just right now just take Bruno out and then try to throw somebody else, that's
when you look at Bruno this season, he's actually had a poor season until like the last maybe 2 months. Maybe he started to come on and shine. Let's be honest, man.
You're right. Last 2 months, he stepped really, really came back into life. I don't know where he just got caught. But that's the thing with Bruno. That's my thing with like I play like that. You just can't afford to lose right now, bro. Not in this current state. If we were already doing so well, then fair enough. But like right now, in this current state, getting rid of Bruno is suicide. I'm suicide.
I'm very happy to get rid of Bruno right now. I think for me, it will be so beneficial.
Man.
Generally, I think it's so because I would then see the manager actually say, you know what? Let's actually coach now. Let's actually play to everyone's strengths rather than let's lump the fault to Bruno and he be the sole creator. I don't want Man United. This is where maybe it comes from my frustration. Is that we're always finding our I was so kind of like hope on Bruno. Let's get the ball on Bruno. Hope. I don't want to be that. I want to be a team where right, we got this player down here. Let's pass to him. We got that player down here. We can get like we're so lopsided sometimes. It's like Bruno, Rashford. Like to build a team around them. This is one of the reasons why I'm on Ten Hag out, because he said, "Yo, I can't build my Ajax team here because I have to play to the strengths of the players." Who does that? Is he talking about? Because he's talking about Bruno Rashford.
No, I think that would be a pick
if Bruno, I think if there's any player that can adapt, it's Bruno in that sense. Because he has shown he's adapted. Look at the performance against Man City. You're talking about players he's playing against: Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and he was miles better than all of them.
Well, but I get 100%. I think for me, again, I told you, one-off games, Bruno Fernandes can perform to a high standard. Yeah. But when I look at him consistently over the course of the season, I think sometimes when it's not going right for him, you get that lack of discipline in this game. He becomes a bit ill-tempered. He gets a bit animating the referee, like, bro, relax, stay in the game. But what I say to you about the transitional football we've been playing for the past couple of years, who's benefited from the most? Tell me. In the team, from the United team. Bruno Rashford. So when we have a style of play that is, this is why I wanted De Zerbi, because I knew Bruno would be out the door. De Zerbi comes in, we have a style of football, we play out from the back, we're controlled, we're tempered, everything is right. Bruno Fernandes will not survive in that team. I guarantee you that, because he would be the one that's right.
Bruno's the only one that's put, I think, in United over the last couple of years, or even just last season, has played in how many different positions and has shown that he can perform pretty well. Right wing. I'm not a fan of Bruno at right wing. I don't like it. But last
season he played 6.
He played 6. We've seen him play 8. I've seen him play false 9. I saw him play left wing against Everton at Old Trafford. I've seen this guy. I've seen him play centre back, bro, against Liverpool in the FA Cup. I know. He's played everywhere.
You know, we say I hear. Yeah, I know you don't. I know. But I hear what you're saying in terms of like, if you want to play a possession-based football, then maybe Bruno might not be the first name that comes to the first player that you want to build around, because he's naturally a transitional type of player. I hear it, but I feel like Bruno has also the ability to adapt, because I think he's shown it. He can adapt. You look at Portugal as well. Portugal now, they're trying to be a possession-based side. Who's the guy that's like right now? Who's their star player? It's not Cristiano Ronaldo. It's not Bernardo Silva.
It's not João Neves.
It's not João Felix. It's not João Neves. It's Bruno Fernandes. So it's like,
I hear different things every day, man.
You know what it is though? It's Bruno's one of those players. Yeah, fans have obviously a split opinion. Some fans have split opinions about him. Yeah, but every manager that's worked under Bruno talks about the way they speak about Bruno.
Is a professional? Yeah,
it's completely different, like to how the fans' perspective on him. You know what I mean? He's always the first name on either Portugal. He's the first name for Man United, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Bruno for me is in future. Do we need to maybe phase him out? Probably. We probably might have to phase him out, but not in this current moment in time, man. I don't think so.
I hear it. Well, I
think it's too much.
I think both of you guys got valid arguments. I know Saeed's gonna have a heart attack. If Portugal win the Euros, and Bruno wins player of the tournament.
I'm happy for him. Like I'm happy for all players that do well. I'll be happy for him. I'll be like, yo, I want every United player. Yesterday, I wanted to see McTominay ball out. I want United players to do well, man.
No. You see McTominay.
He went missing. You know what I mean? He went missing.
McTominay for me. You see, if there's one change that has to happen at this football club.
But he's gonna keep him, Ten Hag, you know that.
Because if you know why he's keeping him? And I told you there's only one reason why he's keeping him. Because he's a passion merchant.
There you go.
He's a passion merchant. Yeah. I'm telling you, I know Mandem in the ends that are better than McTominay.
Yep.
And wallahi, genuine hand on heart, and it's not a lie. I know if take the fitness thing out of it, the physical aspect of the game and the fitness outside of it, wallahi, there's man them in the ends that have got better IQ, and they have better ability than McTominay. That's a fact. No one can, I'll die on the hill on that one. McTominay for me is he's a perfect example of somebody that went through the football system and had his fair share of luck. Obviously, things went well for him, and today he's.
I don't think you make it this far on luck, though.
Alex Ferguson.
No. There's something that clearly they see in McTominay that we don't see.
Do you know what they see? No, do you know what they see? He looks the part. He's a 6'4", brother. He's tall. He's got the athleticism. He's strong.
That's
Like he's
need.
built. And so when you see him on the pitch, he looks intimidating. He looks like somebody that could give you problems, brother. If I played against McTominay, I wouldn't be worried.
Yeah.
That is that's blasphemous. That's actually a bit of a this is a professional, guys. This is a
I wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't be worried.
You can have your
from the ball.
No, you can have your questions about his shortcomings and his ability, but to be a professional footballer for this long, bro, you don't do it on luck. You see people 19, 20 making it out of the system, ending up at flipping Vitesse, playing in Poland, or playing in some random Scandinavian country.
Nah,
it's not luck, man. It's not luck.
Let me. No, you need. I'm not saying it's lucky to be a footballer. I'm saying you need luck to make it. Like I'm not saying he's lucky to be a footballer. I'm saying he's luck. He's got a lot of luck to still be at Manchester United.
Yes.
In 2024.
Okay, maybe still being at United. Okay, all right. Okay.
After Mourinho left, he should have been there 1 or 2 more years, and he should have been out the door.
I blame Mourinho. I blame Fergie. That's the two people I blame. Man.
How's Alex Ferguson catching a stray? What you?
He's the one that gives the ball confidence.
It's his grand nephew, whatever they call it. Whatever they call it, man. That's his.
Grand. Yeah, that's it, man. You know what I mean? Fergie's got some big things wrong, man. I don't know why Fergie doesn't catch any strays. Like he got Jones wrong. He said he's the next Duncan Edwards. You know.
Yeah,
so
got David Moyes wrong as well.
Yeah, David Moyes. So he's had a fair few mares, you know. So he's not out of the criticism, you know.
Yeah.
So, big up to everyone that's locked in, man. We've got over 300 people. Make sure you hit the like button. Mapuka says, Saeed, Ten Hag gone, but give him quality players first before we jump to that. Our squad is bad, man. Rashi needs to be sold. Give him solid players and then assess. Evas says, big up the panel. Erik Ten Hag has a lot to prove. Mapuka says, this is the first time I agree with Saeed. Sell Bruno. Don F says, Bruno is our best signing since Sir Alex. Facts.
Yeah.
You guys agree with that?
Facts. Yeah, 100%. 100% by a mile. It's not even close. I think Bruno's maybe I think I can only count on one hand
Pogba,
how many successes I
was gonna say Pogba if we're talking about player per se, but in terms of what they've achieved is quite different. But then again, Bruno and Pogba got the same number of trophies at Man United. If we're going trophy for trophy.
Obviously he had that season. Pogba had that season with Mourinho when they won the double in it.
Yeah, he did the double in his first year. And then
but now let's be real though. Like
after
in terms
that,
of individual, whether that be like even just individually, if you look at both Pogba and Bruno's had way more success at Man United than. But it's not even a question.
Let me ask you again. I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
The players that Pogba played with, Pogba played with Pereira in midfield. He played with Matic.
Bruno played with the same people.
No, but hold on.
No.
Do you think? Because Pogba had a time, I remember, where he could have had like 20 assists in the season with Ibrahimovic. I don't know if you don't remember that year with Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic was just missing chances left, right, centre.
Yeah.
If you swap them around in their time periods, I know that there was a period where they kind of crossed over and they played together.
Yeah.
But if Bruno,
would Bruno have thrived though? That's a problem as well. Under Mourinho,
we're playing Pereira as a team.
Mkhitaryan was one of the best creators in Europe under Dortmund, and he came in and he crushed.
He played that wide, didn't it? He was playing that wide.
He was meant to be a 10. Then he put him on the wide position. So I don't think he would have thrived of the Mourinho. So
I think he would have, man. They got a Portuguese connection. I think it would have worked.
I don't know. I genuinely don't think I don't know. For me, I think it's Paul Pogba. But again, like I said to you,
Paul Pogba. You think he's been the best Manchester United signing since?
If we're talking for talent, no. If we're talking talent, but if we're talking about what he's done at United, for me, it's not Pogba.
Yeah.
But I'm a big Pogba fan, innit? So I'm just talking about from the player aspect. But then, who's second?
Second after Bruno Fernandes, Juan Mata.
Juan Mata.
Nah, he was let down at United. He was good when we called on him when he played, but I think he was the worst. He was a transfer for me that didn't make sense. He joined United after the best time of Chelsea, and then he comes to United, and it was just like a downfall. I'll never forget that bicycle kick. Wonderful.
I don't think it was a downfall, you know.
I think he was just they didn't know how to utilize him.
Yeah, I don't think they used him to his best, but I feel like he was Mr. Reliable. I think he scored some big goals for us, and he consistently showed up for us. I don't remember too many bad Juan Mata performances. Like anytime he was on the pitch, he done well. It was just that obviously we didn't utilize him in his best position, which was a 10. We used to always play him out wide on the right, but he played so well for us. The amount of important goals he scored for us, I'll never forget. Also, even at Juve, when he's that free kick.
Yeah.
Like he scored some crazy important goals for us. Like he's been off the bench.
That was a good one as well.
think matters up. Yeah.
If we're talking about just transfers in general under Erik Ten Hag right now, Onana, Lisandro Martinez, etc. Who do you see being important or integral part for next season? Because right now United are linked to centre backs, we're linked to midfielders, we're linked to right wingers. Do you see us even getting Elise? Do you see that happening? Do you think it's realistic for United to buy Elise?
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah, honest opinion.
I don't want Elise.
Why is that?
I don't want Elise, man. I want one is because I feel like we need to move away from hype.
Okay.
And we need to just go out and buy players that we know that will not necessarily have the same level of hype, but will perform. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like there's better options out there that you can get for half the price that will give you the same level of standard of performances that Elise is giving you. For me, for example, Mbeumo for me is the name that I would always come to.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think Mbeumo's good. I think for me, I still would want Elise over Mbeumo, but my thing is, I don't think right now it's a priority for Man United to go sign Elise. For me personally, I don't think wingers are a priority. But we've got enough cooking there if we need to. Rashford, Garnacho, you got Ahmad, you got. Listen, I don't want to say his name, but Anthony. You know what I mean? If they want to bring Sancho, he's there available. I don't think he's going to come back. So I think we need midfielders and we need centre backs and then we need a left back and a striker. So that area there is where United need the most. Wingers right now, it's not like a urgent need. I would love a winger. It would be a kind of a bonus. But if that meant that we only got one midfielder in, I'd be fuming because we need two midfielders. Because Casemiro's going to leave and you needed already one ahead of him anyway because, I don't really trust Eriksen anymore. The legs have gone, you know what I mean, and whatnot. So I don't want to trust him as well, and that's where my kind of key area is. But, if the club want to get him, then fair enough. I wouldn't mind Elise. I think he's a quality player. Again, similar to what Liban saying there, it's about profiles though, isn't it? United have got to get the profiles in rather than just getting names and just saying, yo, right, we need that player there just because he's a lot of interest in that. No. Go and get players that you believe that are going to help Man United. And if you don't believe they're going to help them.
Is there any particular players that you think United should get? Because you mentioned a few positions. So is there any particular players?
From Monaco.
Okay.
I
would go and get left back Aït Nouri.
I'll take
Nouri. I'll take him. Yeah.
Aït Nouri. And then I would go and get for me, I like Cunha or Branthwaite. One of them two as an attacker. That would be my kind of one. Obviously, Branthwaite and Todibo, or one of the Branthwaite or Yoro Todibo, whichever. I'm not really too fussed, but two of them, and then one other midfielder, maybe like a creative 8. I'm looking at a creative 8, something like that we could have. Once if Bruno's not performing, someone else could come on. I don't trust Mason Mount, so maybe another kind of creative 8.
You haven't even got the chance to see a Mason Mount. How can you say I don't trust Mason Mount?
I don't, because I just don't think he's got any star qualities other than being like a McTominay runs around and just shows a bit of passion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm not convinced on Mason Mount at all. I think that's again. He's one of those players that I don't think he fit. I don't think he fits the profile. I don't even know why he signed him.
Bro.
I don't know what his best position is. I don't know where he fits in the starting 11. It's like we just literally wasted 50 million trying to squeeze in a player that doesn't, like you said, doesn't even have star qualities. It's like I understand if it was like a player that is like a world beater, then you have to find a way to fit him in. But Mason Mount he's a good player, but that's just about it. Like, why are we trying to find a way? Why are we having to now try to find a way to fit him in?
Would you not keep Amrabat? Saeed, would you keep Amrabat?
I would keep him if they brought in 2 midfielders extra. That's obviously not going to happen. But for me, if you brought Amrabat, you kept in Amrabat and that was it. Nah, that's underwhelming, man. You know what I'm saying too? And also, I think he's likely to stay in that. He's likely to get bought because Erik Ten Hag knows him rather than the other way. But then again, it's Jason Wilcox, isn't it? So they won't buy him then.
Yeah, I don't think that's the reason they'd keep him. I think they'd keep him if they genuinely see him being useful to the team. I think he's going to leave his club regardless. I think he's going to move, and I think he wants to stay at United. But he did mention in an interview that he wants to stay in the Premier League. So I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of goes anywhere else. What about, no one mentioned goalkeeper, so I'm guessing you lot are kind of convinced on the idea of Onana being the number one keeper for United.
No.
I'm still unsure, man.
No, I'm not. Is he? No, Onana for me. What like? Don't get twisted. Like he deserves his praise because I think he's put in the recent months. He's put in quite good performances, and I think he's done quite well given the first half of the season. But the thing, my problem with Onana is he could give me 85 minutes of an incredible performance, and then one mistake in the last 5 minutes of the game, and all that work's thrown in the bin. Like you saw that Doku goal against Man City, that could have almost cost us the game.
Exactly.
That could have almost cost us the game. Do you know what I mean? And that just came from a split moment of, I don't know if that's a lapse of concentration or if that's just him not being good enough. But me personally, every time the ball gets like, I see a long distance shot coming towards Onana, I'm worried.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to save it or not. Like,
but do you think it's a priority for them to get another keeper? And even so, with the keeper market kind of reminds me a little bit of like the striker market. There's not really much out there. I think a lot of positions. But I think a lot of positions this year, there's not really a lot of options out there. And if there is, then you're paying some ridiculous like 100 million, 120 million release clause for these people.
But the decision making at the club's a bit weird. I feel like the decision club making is weird. It's like, sorry to cut you off, but it's like, it's last summer we signed obviously Onana, right? We signed Onana for 50 M's. We had a keeper, Kova, who just was part of the Bayer Leverkusen winning team. Yeah, he was playing in all the cup games. He's clearly good enough to be at least a number 2. We went and signed that Turkish guy, only played in one game all season, but now we're going to sell him this summer, and then now we're looking for another number 2. To me, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I honestly don't understand who's making these decisions, because that Kova guy could have easily been a number 2.
Bro, oh my days. You know this Kova guy, by the way? I always had the illusion, but he was like 18, 19, yeah? So I was like, cool, he's leaving. I thought, fairly young, go get experience. Brother, he's 23, you know?
He's a
nice age for a keeper. So I was like, you know what, why did we play him? But obviously, this is what happens in it. Like, players now, have you noticed there, Ten Hag, he's made it clear, like, you know, like, yo, I don't really need you in it. Like,
Saeed's bringing it back to Ten Hag. Liban said who's making the decisions at the club, and Saeed is saying, you know, Ten Hag.
Like, yo, like, when he doesn't need you, he makes it clear, like, Zidane Iqbal, whoever's there, like, yo, I'm gonna go in it basically in it and do what I need to do. And he'll make it clear to you, like, yo, you're not needed here, innit? So that's why they've gone, and you know, you've seen Alvaro Fernandes, you see all the players in, and they're going, you know what, fair play, go and do your thing. So no, I think for me, I think we don't. It's not a priority, but I'm still unsure about his shot stopping ability, man. I think he's improved though. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's given improvements, but his shot stopping ability, man. I still think like there's an error there, man, in him, man.
Yeah, 100%. Every game as well. There's an error there every game.
Yeah,
every single game. I'm like, there's an error there. There's somewhere. It can happen at any given moment as well, and it's like
you just don't know when it's gonna happen, but you know
don't know when it's gonna happen. Yeah. It's the AFCON gene. That's what I'm
it's
the AFCON gene. That's what it is.
Cool. Before we wrap it up quickly, next season, obviously we still got a transfer window ahead of us, but what's the expectations for next season? Is there anything in particular you want to see? Because for me, I just said, you know, trophy, okay, cool, but I do not want to see performances like we've seen this season. I don't want to see Bournemouth spankings, Forest spankings. I don't want to see us leaking in 3-4 goals every other game. I don't want to see us giving away games when we're leading quite comfortably. For me, it's the manner in which we win and the manner in which we might lose. I'm not saying that I expect us to lose a lot of games next season. I hope we don't. But for me, it's the manner in which everything's done. I know a lot of other people have been more pressy about the idea of the style of football, the way that United are playing, you know, how they're going to utilize maybe if Marcus Rashford is there, Rasmus Højlund, etc. What's your kind of expectations for next season? And what is it that you want to see the most that changes from this season?
You know, for me, I think I've always kept it kept it bluntly, like, you know, I want to see good football, man. I think the trophies come, man. You know what I mean? United, like I said, we've not been winning trophies for the past 6 years, but it came last year. But I feel like Ten Hag's a cup manager, but bro, bread and butter football. Everybody watches football for enjoyment. You don't just watch football and be like, yo, just get me a 1-0 every game, man. Come on, man. Like, you don't do that. You want to be seeing the team play with swagger, get 3-4-0, you know, enjoy, go back home, match a day. I've not watched match a day all season. I'll be real with you.
Same. I haven't watched match a day in ages.
You know, you're like, it's rubbish. Like, you know, you want to be seeing teams like, right, we're going up for it. Like, when I go to Old Trafford, I want to be like, yo, I'm excited to go today. You come in and you're like, well, You know, I've been going out and we're like, oh, we'll take this. Or, you know, I don't know if we're going to win today. Like, we want to be like, right, we're confident in where we play. Week in, week out, we're gassed. Yo, who performed well today? Like, it shouldn't be like we're negative about the win. Like, I always look at United, yeah, and if we're going after a game and we're seeing negatives about a win, that's where you know that we're not satisfied by the way we play football. And that's how majority of the fan base felt last season. We won against Luton Town. Remember Luton Town? 2-1.
Yeah.
We got 2 goals in 6 minutes. Right, let's cook. You know, we're ready. Let's destroy Luton. Next thing you know, we sat back for the whole game and we, you know what I mean? And we had 2 chances in the game in the second half. But the rest of it, Luton were bopping us, you know? And that sort of feeling, I don't think Man United in their 3rd season should be not having a clear style of play where we enjoy and they see that this team is improving. And then obviously win trophies. But I believe we're going to get top 5, top 6, you know, if I'm being honest with you. And then win the Europa League. I think that Europa League is going to hinder Man United very, very much next season. Thursday, Sunday is tough, man. You know what I mean? Especially when we've got 8 games in Europa League. Navigating through that, you know, we always have to outweigh the other. Like, Tottenham will be the same. Tottenham will struggle next season. Tottenham will struggle the same. You know, so we'll find out whether this team can cope and manage week in, week out football. See?
What about you, Liban?
No, I'm kind of on the same page with Saeed. I feel like I definitely want to see an improvement in terms of the performances. I think, like you were saying as well, it's not about how you. I mean, it's not about losing, because you're gonna lose games. It's inevitable. You have to lose games, but it's the manner in which you lose, in it. You don't want to see your team get pumped every single week, 3-4-0, especially at Old Trafford. Like, seeing your team concede like that game against Bournemouth at home, yeah. I don't even want to talk about that feeling, because it was, it's not.
Is that the game where you thought that was it now? Because I thought
that was it. I can't lie to you. I genuinely thought that was it. But it's like those type of performances I don't want to see next season. Sometimes it can happen. You get those one-off bad performances and things don't go your way. But at least if you're consistently performing well, then people can let it slide. But we need to see some sort of consistency in terms of results and performances next season. I'm saying probably about top 5 if I'm being hopeful, hopefully maybe a top 4, but it's going to be hard with the Europa League. But Champions League is also Thursday nights now as well, you know. There's Champions League on Thursday nights as well.
Yeah. That's what I knew.
Yeah, Thursday nights as well. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are Champions League as well.
That's crazy.
So it's just one of them things now we just kind of have to get used to now, the Thursday to Sunday thing. That's why we need a big squad, though. But that's why we also need a big squad. We need to have, because especially with the number of injuries we had this season, if we can get players in and have a large squad, then we can hopefully cope with that. But
we're winning a trophy. You think we're going to win a trophy?
I believe we are.
Just give me Community Shield at the start of the season. I'll be happy.
The bar is on the floor.
Just give me the Community Shield this year, and then a top 5 finish. I'll be happy, man. Give me that.
What about you, Saeed? Do you think we're gonna win a trophy? Because I expect Europa League. I'm not gonna lie. I think
we will win a trophy. I think we will win a trophy. Yeah.
You know what it is for me? I think for me we'll win a trophy. I think Europa League, man. I don't know what really scares me in that Europa League. Even though I think we could get outplayed and out, you know, because of the coaching levels. You know, I'm not sure, but I reckon for me, like, Europa League, we could go far. You know, and obviously FA Cup again. Why not, man? Let's relive that again. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what it is. The teams that go for the Premier League, Arsenal and whatnot, they always neglect it, man. You know what I mean? And they think, right, we're going for the Premier League only. Like we've not done that because we're not in the Premier League race. So cups are what our thing is. But again, will people be satisfied like me? I don't think they will be. You know, because we want to see the bread and butter week in, week out. You know, where we know when we have to play well to win a game. We can't be consistent in that. So the whole season will be mirrored by the style of football. I think in the 3rd season, if you're not playing the way you should be playing, that should be ringing alarm bells. It really should be. For me personally.
Yeah.
And just quickly, Ten Hag survives the season?
I don't know if he survives, because again, it depends on a lot of factors, because I don't know if he survived. But one thing I'm certain, though, we're going to have we can't get any worse than last season. So he will definitely have a much, much better this season come this year. But then again, it just depends on how satisfied the board are in terms of, again, other things like performances and whatnot. But I think he will do better. I think he will do better than this season for sure.
Saeed, what about you?
I think he's gone by October, November.
This guy's, he's not even giving. He's saying by the second international
Saeed,
break.
Saeed, Saeed's waiting around the corner. You know, like he's waiting for one slip up. He's waiting for one slip up, and he's coming out. He's coming out.
That's it. You know what I mean? I just want to see clear improvement. All right, 2-1, come on. But I think for me, there has to be a clear improvement in the way we play, man. I need to be satisfied because we're here week in, week out. We want to talk about like, yo, man, you lot played well this week, man. Like that, for me, if we're not seeing that, then I think that's where it's at. I think right now, I'm at that point where like, right, let's get on with it. Like, stop moaning about Ten Hag out. Like, I'm not screaming that out anymore. But what I will say is, though, you know I'm here. You know what I mean? And you know I've been screaming that we need to replace this manager. That's all I'm going to let you know.
Oh man, big up to everyone, man. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. We're not that far from 250. Be sure to subscribe as well. Listen, it's been a great stream, man. Liban, a lot of people are singing your praises in the chat. Let them know where they can find you.
We're all united, man. Different opinions, innit? You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I love about football, though. It's always like, you get me, you get everyone's got different views and whatnot, but yeah. But
Liban, let them know where they can find you if they want to follow you.
Yes, Liban LDN on both Twitter and Instagram, and also you can find me on SDS on YouTube as well. Yeah.
Big up. I'll put all the links in the bio of this video as well. Saeed, man, no need, but let them know where they can find you as well.
Yeah, no, man, Saeed TV, man. Just follow me there, and yeah, man, I'll be doing the Spain game, Croatia, and yeah, man, alhamdulillah. Hopefully everyone's a good fast and whatnot, and
big up to
Eid Mubarak in advance, man. Eid Mubarak to you too.
Eid Mubarak, Eid Mubarak, likewise,
man.
I'm coming to collect my Haqq al-Eid from YouTube, bro. Monzo me.
PayPal, I'll send you PayPal, don't worry.
Big up to everyone, and like Saeed said, man, Eid Mubarak to everyone celebrating tomorrow. I'll be back here as well after Eid prayer and all of that, talking all things United. Big up to Liban, big up to Saeed. Make sure you lot check out Saeed's stream later on, watch along for Spain versus Croatia, and make sure you guys, every time SDS drop a video and Liban is in it, make sure you lot go to the comments and put W's in the comment for Liban every single time. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. I'm out, guys. As always, peace.